Around 8 years ago, I was officially diagnosed with bipolar disorder. You know, it's a mental illness people like Selena Gomez, Mariah Carey, and Kanye West have. I guess I'm in very interesting company. Later in this video, I'll share the shocking story of how I found out, but I'll let you know now that it involved being locked up for 6 weeks at a psych ward. To make matters worse, it was when my second son Logan was only 7 months old. First, I'll be sharing with you guys an inside look on what it actually feels like for me. As you may or may not know, people with bipolar disorder suffer from two vastly different serious illnesses. There's the manic side and then there's the depression side. Lucky for me, I've only experienced the depression side a handful of times. Mostly I experienced mania or hypomania, which is a milder case of mania. You'd be surprised to know that hypomania is actually kind of nice and somewhat seductive. Weird word to use, right? Well, let me explain. There's a reason why Kanye West doesn't want to take his pills. So let's go over hypomania first. When I'm hypomanic, I feel very creative. The creative juices are flowing. I come up with ideas for businesses. I have walls of art I created that are up in my walls in my house right now. I'm also somewhat impulsive. I buy things without giving it much thought. Hello, my collection of shoes and jackets. I'm also less inhibited and more social when I'm hypomanic. Many people with bipolar disorder feel as though they can relate to others much better during these episodes because their moods are elevated. This is when I call friends to check in. My sister jokingly says she likes me when I'm hypomanic because I'm thinking and talking a million miles a minute. I just have so much energy. When I'm not hypomanic, I hardly post on social media. When I go hypomanic, I suddenly feel like I have tons to share on IG stories. That's the funny way my sister knows that something's up. Oh yes, and I operate on little to no sleep, like 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night, and I have the energy of a superhuman. For me, when I'm hypomanic, I feel like my true self, and it's a great feeling. And that is why it can be so seductive. It's so easy to forget the bad that can come with hypomania and focus on the good. Remember, you're only sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night. So if you tip over from hypomania to mania, it's a whole other ballgame. What is mania like? You can only sleep 3 to 4 hours a night, but you can't read because your mind is so tired. You're up at 1 or 2 in the morning and you have tons of hours where you feel like a trapped prisoner. No one else is awake at that hour, so you have 5 to 6 hours alone with just your thoughts. There's nowhere to go, and because you can't read, there's no books to read. One time I took all my coffee table books and my magazines and cut out my favorite pictures. I then spent days, maybe even weeks, plastering these pictures along the walls of one of my bedrooms. My kids think that room's now spooky because of the faces that are staring back at them. When you're manic, you start to develop paranoid thoughts. You also get a superiority complex. Kanye, believing that every idea you have is genius. Now, when I tip into psychosis, which only has happened a few times now, I believed God was watching over me and protecting me. That doesn't sound bad, right? Well, it gets worse. I believe that the government is watching me. This is what happened when 8 years ago, I walked into a major intersection without looking, telling myself that God would protect me. Thank God it was empty at that time. It was like 4 or 5 in the morning. We were at a hotel in downtown Los Angeles and I was convinced that I was in a movie and that the helicopters overhead were taping me in some kind of reality show. My husband freaked out that I had crossed the street without looking. He called my sister to come and then asked a doctor friend what to do. They had me admitted to the UCLA psych ward. Because they had given me so much Xanax hoping to bring me down and get me tired, I don't remember what happened after I saw Sam and got back to the hotel. Apparently, I struggled with going to a mental hospital, so Sam had to talk me into it by telling me to do it for the children. Yes, he pulled that card. Well, it worked. All I remember is waking up the next morning at a psych ward with a letter by my bed and a Ziploc bag of quarters next to it. The letter said that they were sorry for putting me in the psych ward, but that there was no other choice. I'll save the rest of the story about what it's like to be locked up in a psych ward for another video. So, how do I manage being bipolar? I take my meds regularly and I have a therapist. I'm lucky that I have the resources to see both a psychiatrist and a psychologist. Together, they help me keep my mental health in check. When I start getting hypomanic, which happens very easily, like when the seasons change or when I feel some stress or pressure, I have to start charting my meds and I take them up each day till I break hypomania and start sleeping the regular 8 to 9 hours a night. Hypomania can last a week or 2 or up to a few months. Yes, I'm talking months. Mental health is no joke. It takes real effort to manage it. And like I've said in previous videos, your health, both your physical and your mental health, should be priority number 1. Without your health, you can't do anything else. Having a good support system is key, whether it's your family, friends, or mental health professionals. Reach out and get the help you need so you can live your best life. It may take time, but with the right resources and attitude, you will get there. Don't give up. It's important to stay positive and recognize that you can make meaningful changes in your life. You can be successful, happy, and still have a serious mental illness like bipolar disorder. Just on a side note, Selena Gomez recently released a documentary on Apple, and a song called My Mind and Me that's written from her first-person experience about having bipolar disorder. It's a beautiful song and it's so meaningful, so check that out. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. For another personal style video, check out the 5 unbelievable acts of kindness by my husband Sam. I guarantee you'll fall in love with him too. Thank you and so long!